one more thing. మీకు డేటా వేరోజింగ్ ఆల్రెడీ ఐడియా ఉంది కదా? ఐ మీన్ టు సే ఇన్ఫర్మాటిక్ ఆల్రెడీ వచ్చి మీరు ఆల్రెడీ వర్క్ చేస్తారా, లేకుంటే ఇండియా ట్రైనింగ్ అయిపోయింది జస్ట్?
ట్రైనింగ్ అయిందండి అంతే, వర్క్ ఏం చేయలేదు.
వర్క్ ఏం చేయలేదా? సరే, ఇన్ దట్ కేస్ దెన్ విల్ గో విత్ ద బేసిక్స్ ఆఫ్ ద డేటా వేరోజింగ్.
ఓకే. యాక్చువల్గా నేను సాయి గారు అని ఎవరు ఉన్నారంటండి, ఆయన దగ్గర వీడియోస్ చూసుకొని నేను కొంచెం ఎక్కువ చూస్తూ ఉంటాను అప్పుడు. అంటే కొంచెం మనకు ముందు అవ్వాలి కదా.
అవునవును. సరే అండి, నేను ఇనిషియల్ కొంచెం స్లోగా వెళ్తాను. వన్స్ ఐ ఫీల్ దట్ ఓకే యు ఆర్ అప్ టు ద మార్క్, జస్ట్ విల్ స్పీడ్ అప్ ద థింగ్స్.
ఓకే అండి, ఓకే, నో ప్రాబ్లం.
ఓకే.
ఇది నాకు సర్వర్ యాక్సెస్ ఒకటి కావాలండి.
ఇస్తామండి, ఈ రోజే కదా స్టార్ట్ అయింది క్లాస్.
అదే మామూలుగా
ఐ విల్ హెల్ప్ యూ హౌ టు ఇన్స్టాల్ ద GUI. చేశాక నీకు మిస్టర్ శ్రీనివాస్ నీకు యాక్సెస్ ఇచ్చేస్తాడు.
Yeah, Hari, I will arrange the access, no problem.
So as you are aware,
I will forward those details.
Okay,
Okay then, go ahead.
Sure, definitely. So as you are aware, the SAP BIBW is a data warehousing. So usually these data warehousing tools are broadly divided into two types. So usually these data warehousing tools are divided into two types. Data data warehousing. Okay, so usually these are called as, there are tools called as ETL, and some of the other tools are called as reporting tools. Okay, so when I go with the ETL tools, so here Informatica is an ETL tool. So we can't do the reporting on top of an Informatica. Okay, it is just a simple an ETL tool. So what do I mean by ETL? Extract, transformation, and load. So which means there will be two types of systems. One type of system are called as what is called the source systems, where we are storing our day-to-day transaction data, and the other systems are called as target systems. So using these ETL tools, what we will do is we will read the data. So I'll just show you a simple diagram format. So these are nothing but your what is called your source systems, where we usually store our day-to-day transaction data. So what does my ETL tool do is it will connect to these systems. Okay, read the data, transform the data according to your reporting requirements, and then load into the data warehousing solution. Okay, so that is in simple terms called as ETL solutions. Okay. Extract, transform, and load. Extract means able to connect to different source systems, transform the data according to your reporting requirements, and then load into the BW or your any other data warehousing tool. Okay. So Informatica belongs to one of those. So IBM Data Stage. IBM Data Stage is also one of the same tool. And we have another one called as SAP BIBW, Business Objects Data Services. Okay, and the Kettle. So these are the most commonly used ETL tools available in the market. Okay. Now when it comes to do the reporting, so we have some other set of tools called SAP BIBW, Business Objects. Okay, so click view, then tab view. Then followed by what else? Any idea of any other reporting tools?
అంటే కాగ్నాస్ ఇవన్నీ అంటారండి.
I just try to convey your message in English, please.
Cognos,
excellent. Okay, Cognos. Next, TIBCO Spotfire. TIBCO Spotfire. Okay. So these are the most commonly used reporting tools available in the market. There are also some other tools which can perform ETL activities plus reporting activities. Okay. So the rank one goes to SAP BIBW, most commonly used ETL plus reporting tool. Okay. Then MSBI, Microsoft Business Intelligence. OBIEE, Oracle Business Intelligence Enterprise Edition. So these are the tools which can handle the ETL activities plus reporting activities. Okay, so we are going to learn. So that is the advantage of the ETL. I mean, the reporting or the ETL tools. If you are able to learn one of the ETL plus reporting tool, then learning any other tool is a very, very easy task. Since you already know the basics of the Informatica or the information about Informatica, then your learning of the BWBI and the ETL activities would be the same, because here also the same picture. We have the different source systems. We read the data from these systems and write into this particular system, and on top of this we have the reporting layer. Okay. So in BW, we'll do this ETL activity in the SAP BW server. Okay. So usually we will be logging in using a server, and this reporting activity, we have a reporting tool called the Business Explorer. So if you install SAP GUI in your system, then you will be able to see these two icons in your screen, in your start button. SAP Frontend and Business Explorer. Okay. So this front-end we would be using to log into the SAP BWBI server and do the ETL activities, and this Business Explorer is used to do the reporting activities, how to design a report and execute the report, all this stuff. Okay. So we will be learning day by day one of the other features every day. Okay. So let us go to the basics of the database. So here most of the people are using data warehousing tools or ETL tools or reporting tools or ETL plus reporting tools. But here is a clear picture of what is the difference between all of these things. So you are learning an ETL plus reporting tool. Okay. Now let us go to the basics of the data warehousing as the first thing. Now from beginning. Now Bill Inman is a person who is considered as the father of the data warehouse. Okay. So he suggested some principles. So those principles are subject-oriented, integrated, non-volatile, time-period collection of data in support of management decision. So what he suggests is, if you construct your data warehouse basing on these 4 principles, then it would be perfectly suitable for your management to take the decision. So why management is going for data warehousing tool? So usually, for example, take the example of Walmart. So Walmart has its existence in multiple countries. Since you are from India, take the example of Hyderabad Central, okay, or Big Bazaar, or more supermarket. So usually, different customers would be coming to these stores on a day-to-day basis and purchasing some or other products. For example, take the example of SBI, State Bank of India. So every day, number of customers would be visiting the bank and doing a transaction. Some people are depositing the amount, some people are withdrawing the amount, all this stuff. Okay. So here, these kind of day-to-day data, business data, is called as transactional data. Okay. So here, it may be anything. It may be online shopping or your banking or whatever it may be. So here, these kind of transaction data are stored in some or other source systems, whatever it may be. So here, the business would be very, very happy with how the business would be happening. The management would be very happy. But basing on this business data, they want to take some kind of decisions. Okay, how my revenue is happening, how my revenue is happening every day. Then who are my best customers? Okay, and what are the materials which have been purchased by most of the customers? What are the materials which are not been purchased? So what is the importance of this reporting? You would be getting a clear idea of what are the different materials purchased by different customers. So with that report, what you can achieve is what are the materials which are not at all purchased by the customers. You just start reviewing them. Why the customers are not interested in purchasing these materials? Are these outdated? Any new version is available? If yes, then what should I do with these old products? Okay, and so at that point of time, what they'll do? They'll go for a buy one get one offer, or announce 50% discount, 30% discount, like this. So every day thousands of customers are visiting the store. Every month, lakhs of transactions are happening. Every year, some millions of transactions are happening. So out of these millions of transactions, they want to find out who are my customers who have done a great business with me in terms of revenue. So who are my top 100 customers based on the revenue in the calendar year 2014? So what is the advantage of the reporting? They would be taking a list something like this, and in order to establish a good relationship with these guys, what they will do? They will give some kind of gifts, or they will give a party in a big hotel in order to establish a connection. So like this, the management has a number of questions in their mind, and these data warehousing solutions or tools would be very, very handy in order to explain them, or in order to achieve, in order to decide what is happening with respect to my day-to-day transaction data. So that is where these data warehousing tools are used. So what Bill-in-One suggests is, if you construct your data warehousing solution basing on these 4 principles, then it would be perfectly suitable for your management requirements. Okay. So the reason a data warehouse is subject-oriented, integrated, non-volatile, time-variant collection of data in support of management decision. So we need to understand what are these 4 principles in a clear manner. So if you go for any interview, okay, then the first question they would be, nobody would be asking you, do you know Informatica or BWI or no. They would be first focusing on the basics of the data warehousing. Then once it is done, they would be asking you the specific tool knowledge. Okay. Okay. So we need to understand what is subject-oriented means. Okay. So here, first of all, subject-oriented. So here, usually every organization has a different department. The finance department, the HR department, okay, sales and distribution department, the material management department. Different departments are there. Okay, so different departments would be using different sources in order to store their respective data. For example, the finance department is there. They are using some Oracle apps. Okay, the HR department is there. They are using the PeopleSoft. The sales and distribution department is there. They are using Salesforce.com. Okay. Material management department is there. They are using some Oracle simple database. Okay, like these different departments are using different heterogeneous systems. Here I am using a word called heterogeneous. Why? Because they are using their applications from different vendors. Okay, so my data warehousing system should be capable to read the data from these different heterogeneous systems. So that is called as a subject-oriented. Okay, able to connect to these different source systems. So here, in simple terms, here each and every department is called as a subject. The finance department is a subject. The sales and distribution department is a subject. But these are using some different tools in order to store the respective data, right? That's the reason we will be using the word called as the subject-oriented. Or in simple terms, if I say, nothing but different source systems. Okay? So your data warehousing system should be capable to connect to different heterogeneous source systems, read the data from over there, and write into your data warehousing solution. So that is the importance of the subject-oriented. You got it, Harish?
Yes.
Yeah. Whenever you have any questions, please don't hesitate. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
You're always welcome to stop me and ask me.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Yeah. So the next point is subject-oriented, integrated. Okay. So when it comes to integration, here what are we using in the subject-oriented? We are connecting to different heterogeneous source systems. Okay. Which means these systems would be storing the data in different formats. For example, take the example of a date, simple date. So if somebody asks me to write today's date, then what I will do is I will just go with this way, 17th February 2015.
Yeah.
Okay. Then if I ask my daddy to write the date, he would be writing in this format, 02/2015. Okay. And then if I ask any of the US guy who is staying in the US, he would be writing the month as the first thing, okay, then followed by date, then followed by year. So this is what the format they would be writing. Or some other person would be writing the data in this format, February, okay, 17, 2015. So here if you closely observe, all the dates are same, one and the same. All are pointing to yesterday only I purchased a new laptop, and
okay.
keyboard is a bit confusing for me. I got habituated to my old laptop, so there is a lot of spelling mistakes. Okay?
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. So here, if you observe, all are pointing to same date, 17th February 2015, but the way they are storing the data is different, right? Different formats. So assume this is source system 1, source system 2, source system 3, source system 4. Even though all are pointing to the same date, but the way they are storing the date is a bit different, right? The same logic we can apply to any other example also. Okay. So here, what do I mean by integration? If I go with the reporting on top of, for example, there comes a requirement for me where I want to combine the data from these 4 systems.
Okay.
Okay. But all are, even though their meaning is same, but internally the format of the storing is different, right? So here, here if I load this data, it's loaded as individual objects. No relationship at all with these objects. Even though the same date, but the format is different. That's the reason there is no relationship. So what I will do in this case, I'll contact my respective manager who is asking for the report. I'll tell him that, hey boss, I see that the data is stored in different formats. So if this is the case, okay, you can't combine the data and show the data in a single report. It's not possible for us. So could you please advise what would be the appropriate format you are planning to make it out? Okay, what suits your requirement? Then he told me that, hey Vinay, we want to go with this format. Then what I will do, I will convert the other 3 formats into this respective format and load into the target. So even though the source systems they are storing in this format, but when you load into the BW, it will all the data would be loaded into this format, and this is nothing but your ETL.
Okay.
Extract means connected to different source systems and read the data. Transform the data according to your reporting requirements. Manipulate the data according to your reporting requirements. So I'm manipulating. I'm not at all changing it all over here. I'm just transforming the data according to my reporting requirement and then load into the target. So integrate means, make sure all the data is in a common format. Even though we are reading the data from the different systems, make sure that they are all in the common format so that it would be very useful for doing the report. So you got it, Harish, integrated?
Yes.
Every day, once the class is completed, I definitely expect you to go to, I would be sending a lot of material to you, so please go through that material. At the same time, go to Google and type lots, so you'll be having lots of material, right, in the Google, so go and write the rules of data warehouse, the 4 principles of data warehouse. So you need to just focus on this area. So, and once the class is completed, next day, so when we meet again, so we will be having the question and answer session, first 15 minutes. So you would be definitely able to answer the questions. If you are doing this way, then within 15 to 20 days, you would be having a thorough knowledge of the SAP BW. Okay. So this is what about the integrated. Then next principle is what is called subject-oriented, integrated, non-volatile. Okay, non-volatile, or in simple terms, it is also called as constant. So here, data in the data warehouse should not be changed frequently. So that is nothing but non-volatile, constant. It should be constant or not all the time, but up to some. For example, here tomorrow I have a very high-level meeting with my management. Okay. In that meeting, the CEO, CFO, CTO, all the very other manager level people are attending. So now I need to execute a report. So first of all, I need to show them the country. So it's a MNC company, multinational company, so which has its existence in multiple countries. Now here in my report, I just prepare different slides according to the reporting requirements. One of the slide contains country-wise revenue. Okay. The other material-wise revenue, calendar year-wise revenue, how the sales trend is happening from 2010 to 2015. All this stuff I will be preparing different slides. So in the morning, 9 o'clock, the meeting has been started. Okay. So when I execute a slide, when I execute a report at 9 o'clock, it is showing me some value, for example, 1,000 rupees. Okay. Now, after 11 o'clock, we had a small tea break, and after that, we had the meeting again. So I need to just explain the same report again. When I execute it, it was showing me 1,200 rupees. So there is a change in the report values. Why? Why? Because here, if I do the reporting on top of my source system, In the source system, data is getting updated very frequently. Why? Because whenever the customer is coming to my store and whenever he is purchasing, that is becoming a transaction, and the data is getting stored in the system, right? That's the reason, which means the tables are getting updated very frequently. That's the reason when I executed the report at 9 o'clock, it is showing me some value, and when I executed the same report on 11 o'clock, it is showing me some other value. So definitely confusing, right? So what Bill-in-One suggests is, don't do that activity in your what's called data warehousing solution. Make sure it is at least constant or non-volatile or not getting updated very frequently, so that it may not disturb your reporting. That is the reason what we will do is, according to your reporting requirements only, we will be updating the data in the data warehousing solution, not frequently.
Okay.
So usually what we will do is every 24 hours, okay, every 24 hours we will be updating data. So usually the organizations would be working from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., right? So once the 10 p.m. is done, once the business hours are completed, at that point of time, what we will do, we will run some kind of jobs which will read the updated data and from the source systems and load into the BW IS system or the data warehousing solution. So it's totally basing on your reporting requirement only. You need to update your data warehousing solution. You need to update your data in the data warehousing solution, not in a frequent manner. You got it, Harish?
Yes.
Okay, non-volatile. Next, the fourth principle is time variant. Okay, time variant. So what do I mean by time variant is, so what Bill-in-One suggests is, go with the time variant, time related features in your data warehousing solution. Why? Because, so for example, here my management is interested to see how the sales trend is happening from the last 5 years, 2010 to 2015. What is my calendar year-wise revenue? What is my calendar quarter-wise revenue? What is my calendar week-wise revenue? Calendar month-wise revenue? Calendar day-wise revenue? But are we storing the data in year-wise anywhere? Only year? Only month? Only week? No. We will be wherever we are storing it in complete date format. Okay. So we never store our data with respect to only year or only month or quarter or week. But what Bill-in-One says is, try to insert these features in your data warehousing solution so that it may helpful for the management to analyze data from time point of view also. Okay, so that is how these 4 principles are constructed. And today, whatever the tools that are available in the market with respect to data warehousing, all those tools are based on these 4 principles.
Okay.
Able to connect to different source systems, manipulate or transform data according to the reporting requirements, make sure the data is not getting changed frequently, and ensure that the time characteristics are available so that the management can able to analyze data from time point of view also.
Okay.
So very, very, very important 4 principles. Okay, and this is what the Bill-in-One suggested. Okay, so here once the class is completed, we will be sending you this material. So you can just go through this material. So whatever I have discussed with you, the same thing is explained over here.
Okay.
What is the subject oriented, the integrated, time variant, and non-volatile, all this stuff.
Okay.
Okay, and so in simple terms, if you go with the definition of a data warehouse, if I go with the second definition, a data warehouse is nothing but a copy of the transaction data specifically structured for querying and reporting. So I am not doing any magic with my data. Just I am copying the data from one system to another system. So that from one system is called as source system, and my BW IS system is called as the target system. Here I am just simply transferring, copying data as is, but here I am storing these data in this kind of structures that are optimized for querying and reporting. That's the only difference. I am not all changing my data. Simply moving the data from one location to another. In another location, they are optimized for doing the report. Okay? And if you go with the first definition, a data warehouse is a central repository for all or significant parts of the data that an enterprise's various business systems connect. So a data warehouse is called a central repository. Why? Because usually every organization has multiple departments. Okay, so these multiple departments would be storing the data in different systems. what am I doing as a data warehousing consultant? I am connecting to these different systems, reading the data from over there and writing into it, right? So that's the reason here it is called as a central repository. Exactly one system. I have different source systems, but I have exactly one data warehousing system. That's the reason. So if anybody wants to have any kind of reporting requirements, then instead of contacting the source systems, you would be contacting my data warehousing system. Anything. Why? Because it is central repository, right? So everything is available over here. It's like a supermarket for all of your reporting needs, reporting requirements. Okay. So here a collection of data designed to support management decision making. Okay. So simple. So in simple terms, this is how a data warehousing tool will look like. So whenever we see any data warehousing solution, it should be a bottom-up approach. So in the bottom, we have the different source systems. So these source systems are sometimes called as operational data systems, okay, or OLTP systems also, online transaction processing systems. In the middle, we have the data warehouse, which has been constructed based on these four principles: subject-oriented, integrated, constant or non-volatile, and time variant or time reference. And on the top, we have the reporting tools. So we would be reading the data from these systems, okay, and storing in different structures in data warehousing over here, which are optimized for doing the reporting. And these reporting tools will read the data from the data warehousing tool, and the advantages, the same data can be seen in terms of reports, can be seen in terms of
and
graphs.
those can be called as OLTP?
No, I'm talking about the source systems. So here the source systems are also called as OLTP, and my data warehousing system is also called as OLAP.
Okay.
OLTP and OLAP.
Yeah.
So data warehousing or ETL tools are called as OLAP tools.
AP. Yeah.
Online analytical processing.
Yeah.
Okay. So on the top we have the reporting. So if anybody asks you to just have a brief idea of data warehousing, so this is a perfect picture you need to explain. Okay. Yeah. Then we will be now studying an example of what is a OLTP, what is a OLAP system, all this.
OLAP are the source systems, right?
No. OLTPs are the source systems,
yeah,
and OLAPs are your data warehousing solutions.
Yeah. Okay.
No confusion. Online transaction processing. So transaction processing means OLTP.
Okay.
Okay, your source systems. No confusion at all. Now let us have a good understanding of what is this OLTP, all this stuff. OLTP systems. Okay. Now, what is the full form of OLTP? Online transaction processing systems. So usually these systems are the types of systems where we usually store our day-to-day transaction data. So for example, you go to a bank, any store, any market, whatever it may be, they would be using some or other mode in order to store their respective data, right? So those systems are called as OLTP systems. Anything, airlines, banking sector, manufacturing, whatever it may be. So usually the companies would be using different kinds of applications in order to store their day-to-day transaction data. Okay. So here some of the applications are called as ERPs, of ERP applications. So what do I mean by ERP is enterprise resource planning. So here enterprise means an organization, resources means different resources like manpower, okay, the machines, all the things, each and everything is called as a resource. The plants, all the stuff, okay, how do you plan? So within an organization, how do you plan your resources are nothing but enterprise applications. So usually these kind of applications are used by manufacturing companies in order to store their respective data. Okay, so if I go with the example of say any ERP applications, then SAP ERP. So this is one of the most commonly used ERP application and the most commonly used by the manufacturing sector. So do you have any other idea of any other ERP applications available in the market?
JD Edwards.
JD Edwards, excellent, good, very good. Yeah, next, any others? Lots of tools.
And ERP and e-business is the same. E-commerce, e-business.
I mean, I'm not talking in terms of front-end point of view. I'm talking in terms of back-end point of view.
Okay.
The place where these guys are storing the data, the place where the organizations are storing the respective data.
Okay. Like Microsoft Dynamics, these all comes under ERP?
Yes, exactly. Microsoft Dynamics.
Yeah, and I can't exactly recollect the names. I know some others also.
Yeah, okay, no problem.
Yeah.
So PeopleSoft.
Yeah, PeopleSoft. Yeah.
Okay. Salesforce.
And PeopleSoft is used for HR, right?
Yes, but it's an ERP. It's specialized in HR.
Okay.
Okay. So Salesforce.com is specialized in handling the CRM activities.
Okay.
Okay. Oracle Apps. Oracle Apps. Okay. Like this. So now what happens is, in the ERP market, SAP ERP is a rank 1 product. There are lots of tools available in the market, but they are specialized in only one area of the organization. For example, JD Edwards is there. It is specialized in handling the what is called the sales and distribution kind of activities.
Okay. Same as Salesforce.
Yeah, sales and distribution kind of activities.
Okay.
Okay. PeopleSoft, exactly to handle the HR activities. Salesforce.com, what is the CRM activities, customer relationship management activities. Like this, lots of other tools are there. Okay. Oracle Apps, very good at handling the financial activities of the organization. But SAP ERP is a kind of application which is very good at handling all of the areas of the organization. It may be, if you are having the SAP ERP in your organization, so you no need to go with any other application.
Okay.
You can store your financial data, you can store your HR data, you can store your sales and distribution data, whatever in the organization, whatever is happening, so that all data is getting stored. So that's the reason. So the very good competitor for SAP ERP is Oracle Apps.
Okay.
So Oracle Apps is very good at handling only the financial related activities of an organization. That's the reason. What it has done is it has purchased JD Edwards.
Okay.
It has purchased PeopleSoft. Okay. It has also purchased BOM. All this stuff it has purchased, the Oracle has purchased and integrated into the Oracle Apps application.
Okay.
Okay. So like this, within the ERP market, this SAP ERP and JD Edwards are the what is called the leaders in the market. They are having good competition. So if you want to work with any specific application, then you can go with individual applications also, no problem. But you want to implement as an organization as a whole, then definitely you'd be going with SAP ERP or your Oracle Apps. Or any other things also. I'm just taking a few examples over here. So you got it, Harish?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Now, so normally, so what I mean to say is, normally these are the places where the organizations would be storing data. So some other small organizations would be using the databases in order to store their respective data. Okay, databases. So any examples of databases? Oracle.
Oracle database. SQL Server, MySQL.
SQL Server, okay. Next?
MySQL.
MySQL, okay.
No, like Unix database is there.
Teradata.
Yeah.
Okay. Sybase. DB2.
Yeah.
Our own MS Access. Lots of other things. Okay.
Yeah.
So usually the office would be storing these modes also in order to store the respective data. And some people would be using Excel sheets also, right? Excel is also stored in a table format only. Okay. So here, these are the few examples of the OLTP systems. Nothing but these are the examples where the organization would be storing the respective data. Okay. So here, these OLTP systems would be using a backend architecture called ERM, Entity Relationship Modeling. Entity Relationship Modeling. So what do we mean by entity is? Entity is nothing but a table. Okay. How the tables are connected with one another. So here, OLTP systems means definitely in the backend there is a database and the data is getting stored in the form of a tables, definitely.
Oh.
And each and every table is connected using the primary key foreign key relationship. Do you have an idea, right, about a primary key and foreign key?
Yeah. Primary key is like the common thing in every table to relate one another.
Yeah. For example, there's a table called employee. Okay. So in the table I have employee ID, employee name, employee
department.
employee salary, like this. Okay. I have another table called department. Okay. Now in this department table, I have the department ID, department name, for example, department location. Now, as you're aware, in every organization, every employee should and must work with any of the department. He should belong to any other department. Okay. Now there comes a reporting requirement for you where I want to find out the department-wise employee count. So in each and every department, how many employees are working? I want to have this count. But here, all the employee details are stored in this table. All the department tables are stored in this table. So I need to establish a connection between these two tables. So here, in this table, the employee ID is the unique key. It's also called as primary key. So what is the primary key? A primary key is a kind of column or key which is used to uniquely identify a record. No duplicate values are allowed over here. So that's the reason in my case, I'm just taking the example of employee. Here also the same thing. Every department is assigned as a department ID. Now if you want to establish a relationship between these two tables, I need to have at least one common key between these two tables.
Yeah.
And it would be better if that common key is a primary key. Okay. So while designing the department table, what I'll do is I will insert my employee table also, employee ID also.
Okay.
So if that is the case, then I can now happily establish a relationship between these two concepts. Here, the employee ID in employee table is called as a primary key, whereas the same employee ID, if I place in some other table and for communication purpose, that employee is becoming
Foreign key.
Foreign key, exactly. Okay. So here, using the primary key foreign key relationship, I can establish the connection between the two tables, read the data, and show at the report level. Now, I can write a simple select statement, right? Select employee ID, okay, comma employee name, comma department name, okay, from the employee table, comma department table. So, but here if you observe, this employee ID is available in the employee table as well as the department table. So, confusion for the system, where to read the data from. That's the reason for table names, what we will do, we will use some alias names. Okay, and inform the system that for the employee ID, please read from the employee table. So, employee.employee ID. Okay, employee name also read from the employee table, and the department name read from the department table. So this is how we will be establishing the connection, and I will be using a where condition in order to establish the connection between the two tables. So E.empid is equal to D.empid. So if I execute this statement now, okay, what would be the output? First employee rate, so 1001 for example. Employee name Vinay. Employee department name SAP BA for example. Now 1002, okay. Sai, what is your name? Harish, right? So Harish, and here Informatica, for example. Okay, so this is how I execute the data, and when I execute this report, this is how it would be displaying me the data.
Okay.
Now, here, that's fine. So this is nothing but a reporting. If I am writing a select statement, able to read the data from the tables and nothing but a reporting. So which means I can do the reporting on top of my OLTP systems also. No big deal.
Okay.
No need to have a data warehousing solution in your organization. We can do the reporting on top of OLTPs directly also, because definitely they are storing it in one other table, and if they are using tables, definitely using SQL language, I can read the data, retrieve the data, and show the this format. But there are some drawbacks if I do the reporting on top of OLTP systems. So what are those drawbacks are? So here, actually, the main purpose of the OLTP systems is to write the data. Okay, That is the reason if you if you are going to any store and purchasing some other product, within seconds, within fraction of minutes, okay, they are able to enter all the details of your product, okay, retrieve the bill and payment of the cash they are done, all the stuff is happening within minutes only, okay, they are not taking much time. And when they click on the save button, automatically the data is getting saved in the back in a very, very quick fashion. Why? Because here these OLTP systems are optimized for writing the data into the tables. That is the reason, even though thousands of customers are visiting thousands of customers are visiting my store every day, every minute some hundreds of transactions are happening. For example, take the example of SBA. So you can assume from morning when the bank open at 10 a.m. okay, so some or other person would be standing in the queue throughout India, throughout different locations, and they are doing some other transaction. Even though thousands of customers are doing transactions every minute, but my systems are stable and able to write data in a very quick fashion. Why? Because these are write optimized. But what are you doing by writing the select statement? You are reading the data. So here actually the systems are not write optimized and you are trying to read the data, so definitely the performance is slowed down. You got it, so Harish?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so this is one of the drawbacks. What is the drawback? Your performance is degraded. That's the only difference. Okay, first drawback. The second drawback is actually what is the purpose of the system? To store the data. But what are you doing? So in the back end, the transactions are happening and some other customers are visiting and storing the data, but at the same time you are trying to retrieve the data. So which means you are performing two operations at the same time sometimes. So definitely you are degrading the system performance at this time. Actually, it is meant to do one work. You are also trying to do second work also. So definitely the concentration would be gone, right? So same time you are writing, same time you are reading. So sometimes in order to not to confuse, the system may lock. The tables are locked, not to write the data because you are reading. If that is the case, nobody can enter the transaction data. Nobody can enter the transaction data means the business has been stopped. So because of your reporting purpose, is it a good activity to stop the reporting, to stop the transactions, to stop your customers? No, right? So
no.
That is also one of the drawbacks. The third drawback is here we are using these kind of systems in order to what is called store the transactional data, which means here we have a specific set of hardware, software, all the applications which are used for doing some activity, and we are using the same set of applications in order to do the reading activity also. We are using the same RAM, same database, same operating system, all this stuff. This is also one of the drawback. And the fourth drawback is here for every small change, okay, for every small change we need to go back to this select statement, edit the code accordingly, and show at the report level. So for example, I am in a very high level meeting, okay, so I executed the report in this fashion. Now one of the other manager has asked me, hey Vinay, we want to find out the department location also, for example. Then I can't do it on the ad hoc. I can't do it on the right away. I need to come back to this code, okay, understand, okay, and in the select statement again write this department location, department location, execute it, test it, then show at the report level. Which means for every small change, there's a lot of work needs to be done.
Yeah.
Okay, and sometimes if it's a complex coding, then definitely thorough testing is required. And I'm changing the already existing code, which means I need to raise a ticket. I need to take the approval. All this stuff is happening. I'm in a meeting. How come I go through all these things? Which is a very, very lengthy task, right? So this is also one of the drawbacks. So for a very small change, I need to follow a lengthy procedure. Whereas if I do the same activity in my data warehousing solution, things would be very, very fast. Okay, this is also one of the drawbacks. And the other drawback, most important drawback is here in my OLTP systems, the data is getting updated very frequently. whenever the customer is coming and purchasing some or other product, that is becoming a transaction, data is getting updated in the tables very frequently. Like the thousands of customers are visiting every hour and data, which means here if I execute the report today morning, it will show me some data. If I execute after 1 hour, it will show me there's a change in the figures, there's a change in the revenue value or the quantity value. Why? Because the data in the systems in the backend systems are getting changed too frequently. So with this kind of data, I can't take some kind of decisions because here the data is getting updated very frequently. Data is not all consistent. I can't just report the same thing to my higher level management. You got it, Harish?
Yes.
So this is also one of the drawbacks. So we can do the reporting on top of OLTP systems also, but these are the drawbacks. So in order to overcome all of these drawbacks, what we will do? We would be having our own type of systems called as OLAP systems. Nothing also called as data warehousing systems.
Okay.
Okay. the simple reason is the same thing. Okay. So here what is the advantage of the OLAP? Here OLTP are used by the business, and so both are different systems. So both are different systems. Because of this arrangement, okay, whatever the drawbacks we have discussed so far are gone. Are gone. Why? What was the first drawback? Here OLTP systems are optimized for writing the data, but here my OLAP systems are optimized for reading the data.
Okay.
So definitely advantage, right? So first drawback gone. Here I am trying to perform two activities on the same system, reading and writing. But here now, if I use the separate systems, writing is happening over here and reading is happening over here. So two different environments. Here, totally different architecture, like totally different applications, like own database, own RAM, own hardware, software, all this stuff. Here also the same thing, individual, right? So no dependent on each other. So definitely no confusion at all, no locking at all.
Yeah.
Okay, and here the data is getting updated very frequently, but here not very frequently. According to my reporting requirements, whenever I want to update my data, at that point of time only I am updating my data. That's it. Not as usual, not very frequently.
Okay.
And here for every small change, we need to go back to the respective code, change it accordingly, and come back and re-execute it. But here that is not the case, because OLAP systems or tools are GUI based tools, graphical user interface. Yeah, and one of the other thing I forgot here is I can do the reporting on top of OLTP system, but all the time it is going to data displayed in terms of numbers, figures only. No GUI supported. Okay, no charts, bar charts, something kind of this environment is not supported. But my OLAP system supports all these things. I can analyze data in terms of numbers, in terms of figures, in terms of reports, in terms of what if analysis, different methods. All are possible. Okay. So, sorry. So this is what the difference between the OLTP and OLAP systems. Okay. So whatever the drawbacks were discussed are all become the positive points if I have the OLAP systems. Okay. And these OLAP systems uses a back-end architecture call. So in the beginning of our class, whatever I have written with respect to ETL plus reporting tools, those are nothing but our OLAP systems. Okay. Okay, our target systems. And just now I have written a lot of OLTP tools. Those are nothing but our source systems. Okay. Okay. Now these OLAP tools would be using a back-end architecture called MDM, multi-dimensional modeling. Okay. So or star schema. So here also the same table concept. Here also the tables are connected with one another via the primary foreign relationship. Okay. But the arrangement of the tables, the communication between the tables is a bit different, and that difference makes my system read optimized. Okay. So here we have each and every table we would be calling them as dimension tables. So dimension table 1. Okay, where is the copy button? Yeah. Okay, so dimension table 1. dimension table 2, dimension table 3, dimension table 4. Okay. So here are the same table. So what we are using in our normal, the same rows and columns, everything is done.
Yeah.
In the in the middle, we have a table called fact table. Okay, the fact table.
Yeah.
So here, each and every dimension table consists of a primary key. Every table consists of a primary key, right? So here, what we will do is we will connect our primary key to this table, fact table. So all the primary key 1 to this table, primary key 2, primary key 3, primary key 4, and my fact table contains connection to all dimension tables plus, okay, so what it contains? Connection to all dimension tables, dim tables, plus key figures.
Oh, like the primary key and those stuff?
No. Yeah, the key figures are a bit different.
Okay.
Okay, not the primary key or foreign key concept. So connection to all dimension tables plus key figures. So this is what my fact table consists of. And this whole arrangement makes my reporting possible. And this whole arrangement makes no need to go on editing for a simple requirement also. If you arrange the data something like this, okay, then whatever the problems we are facing, especially with respect to the reporting in OLTP systems, all are overcome, all are gone.
Okay.
So what are all these things? We will get back in tomorrow's class.
Okay.
So for today, just have an understanding that my OLTP use a backend architecture called MDM, called as multi-dimensional modeling. So it is called as multi-dimensional modeling. Why? Because multiple dimensions of tables are there, and in the center I have a one fact table. So it is also called a star schema. Why? Because it resembles a star.
Yeah. Like star schema, extended star, galaxy schema.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Okay. So the star schema is the fundamental thing basically, and we have some other extension called a snowflake schema, hybrid schema, extended star schema, all this stuff. This is the fundamental, basic.
Snowflake is like this table have subdivided, right? Like dimension table is again.
The dimension tables are subdivided. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but for all those things, the star schema is the basic foundation.
Yeah.
Basing on this, they would be extending it according to their own requirements.
Okay.
Okay. Now for now, just keep in mind that it uses star schema, and this is the way any star schema will look like.
Okay.
Give me 2 minutes of time, Harish. I'll be back.
Oh yeah, sure. Please take this.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So this is a small introduction with respect to the OLAP system. And
Okay.
whatever I listed in the first class, the starting of the class, those are nothing but examples of OLAP system. Okay. So now let us try to understand in brief the difference between the OLAP and the OLTP systems.
Okay.
Now, here OLTP stands for
Online transaction process.
OLAP stands for
Online analytical process.
okay. Now these are nothing but your source systems. These are nothing but the data warehousing solutions. So what is the primary operation of your OLTP? In order to update the data on day-to-day basis, every day. Okay. But here, which means in order to write the data. Here I am using these tools to analyze the data or read the data. So this is the primary operation. Now, when it comes to level of analysis, it is very lower because we very rarely do the reporting on top of OLTP. If we do also, it is very limited. But we are having a specialized tool for reporting, right? So we will be doing the analysis in a very high manner over here. So do you understand, Harish?
Yes, yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Okay. Now, when it comes to relevancy of data, here my OLTP contains the current year information only, whereas my OLAP contains current plus historic. So what is the difference? So what happens usually is, for example, take the example of Walmart. So every day thousands of customers are coming.
Yeah.
Every month lakhs of customers. Every year, every year it is counting to millions of customers are coming to the store and purchasing some or other product. And whenever they are doing a transaction, that is getting stored in the backend system, which means my system contains too much of data. Okay, every day thousands of records, every month billions of what's called lakhs of records, every year it may goes to millions, billions of records. So here it's the story of happening every year, right? Every year. So now, if that is the case, the database size would be very, very big, okay, very, very large. At the same time, it is also very hard for the system to accumulate this kind of huge amount of data. That is the reason what organizations will do normally is they will take a backup every year, okay, every year once the financial year is completed, okay, they will take a backup of the old data and put in some other system, and that kind of data is called as archived data. And they'll ensure that only the current year data is available in the current system. Okay. So if I tell you the example, go to any bank. So when have you been to Canada?
Sorry?
When have you been to Canada?
About 2 years ago.
About 2 years ago. So till that point of time you are in India, right? So if you go to any bank, I don't know about how the banks deal in Canada. So I'll just go to an example. So if you go to any bank and ask them for a statement of last month, Jan 2015, then what they will do? They'll ask you, sir, just wait for a couple of minutes, so we'll get back to you. And next 2 minutes or 5 minutes, they'll get back to you with a detailed statement of your bank for the Jan 2015.
Yeah.
Okay. Go to the same bank and ask them, I want my statement for Jan 2014, 1 year back.
Okay.
What they will do? They'll ask you to, sir, write a form, write a reason for what purpose are you using this statement, and fill up a form and come back after 5 working days. They will not give you immediately. If you go and ask them last 6 months statement, they will be giving you immediately.
Yeah.
But above last 6 months, they will never give you immediately. They will ask you to 5 working days. Why? Because that respective data is not available in the current database.
Okay.
The data is archived, okay, in some other location. So what they will do, you have given the permission, right, to access data. You raise a request, right? So the manager of the bank would be going through the request and approving the request. Once it is done, then the respective person will go to the archive database, get the report from over there, and then after 5 working days, they will be issuing it to you.
Okay.
So this is the same simple example. of why the OLTP systems will be using the current but when it comes to OLAP system, here what is my primary duty of my OLAP system? To do the reporting, okay? Which means my reporting tool should consist of both the current plus historical data. All the data should accommodate. For example, my CEO is there. He has established his organization in the year 2005. What is today 2015? So now he wants to have a sales trend. He wants to have a report which which shows him the sales trends, how the revenue is happening with respect to from the last 10 years.
Okay.
Okay. So in 2005, the revenue is 1 lakh. In 2006, 1.2 lakh. In 2007, it's 2 lakh, something like this. So he wants to have a trend, which means my OLAP should contain all the historical plus current data. So that's the reason my data warehouse systems are very, very large systems with a huge amount of memory, huge amount of database space, all this stuff. Okay. Now, when it comes to data updates, here my OLTP system is getting updated very frequently.
Okay.
Whenever a customer comes, that is becoming a transaction, right?
Yeah.
So that is very frequently. But here only less frequent. According to my own requirement, according to my reporting requirement only, I would be updating it. Otherwise, no.
Yeah.
Okay. Here, the database concept is very complex, but here very simple over here. Very complex. Why? Because here a large number of tables are connected or available, and these tables are connected with one another via the primary key foreign key relationship. But here, very simple. Why? Because here definitely all the structures, all the data should be available. But in this system, what am I doing? I am just picking up only the required structures only, required tables only, required data only for my reporting. Not all the data, not all the tables, right? That's the reason here the things are a bit complex, here the things are a bit simple. Okay. Now here the number of users are many. Many people throughout the world are entering latent database, but here only few people are accessing my reports. Only managerial level people only are accessing the BW IS system or the reports, not all the people. When it comes to database architecture, here the things are normalized. In OLAP it is denormalized. So do you know the difference between normalization and denormalization?
No, I was about to ask the same.
You are about to ask the same. Okay?
Yeah.
So normalization and denormalization means, I'll just explain you. Go to the notepad. So who is father of data warehouse?
Lehman or?
Bill Inman.
Lehman, yeah. Bill Lehman.
Okay. In the same fashion, we have another person called E.F. Codd. He is considered as the father of databases.
Okay.
Father of DB, database. So he has suggested some 12 principles. Okay. So whenever you construct any database, okay, so go with these 12 principles. So it will definitely optimize your rating of the data. And one of those principles is normalization. Okay. So normalization. Okay. So many spelling mistakes. Yeah.
It's okay.
Now, for example, I have a table, okay, called the employee, okay. So you keep a employee, okay. Now, for example, I have a table called employee. So employee, employee first name, employee last name, okay.
Is it something related to format changing?
No, that is not the case. No.
Okay.
Okay. So employee address. Employee mobile number, okay. Employee date of joining, employee gross salary, okay. Employee HR, something kind of employee basic salary, okay.
Okay.
Now employee project name, employee project manager, employee project name done by project name, project manager, employee delivery manager, okay. Employee work location, So I have a very big table, something like this.
Okay.
Now, I want to update exactly employee address. For example, he has been from Hyderabad and he has moved to Bangalore, for example. I want to edit this respective data. So in that case, even though my intention is to edit this respective field, even though I'm doing the same thing, but the system will refer all of these columns, right?
Okay.
And find out the relevant one and just update the same thing. Okay. So here what Billing suggests is don't construct large tables. If you are having similar kind of information, just to split the large tables into small tables. So if I split this table, then these are all the basic information about the employee, right? So I'll just get a new table called basic information. Okay, until this point. Now these are all the employee HR related information, salary, date of joining, all this stuff. So here I'll be going with a new table called as employee HR related information. Okay. Now this table also has an employee ID as a primary key.
Yeah.
Now this is about all of the project details. So go with as a new table name and go with the name called employee project details. Employee PROJ _ details. Okay, and this one also contains a primary key. So employee ID. So like this, what Billing suggests is don't construct very large tables. Okay, split large tables and construct very small tables and show the relevant information over here. So now if I want to edit my address, instead of referring to this large table, I can happily happily refer to this small table and edit my address. So what is the advantage of Billing is the writing of the data is becoming very fast. What is the primary objective of the OLTP systems? In order to, these systems are write optimized. So if they are write optimized, if you keep the structure simple, okay, then these are optimized for writing data in a very, very quick fashion. And this is called as normalization. Nothing but splitting of large tables into small tables is called as normalization. What is the advantage? Write optimization we are getting. But it is not suitable for reading the data. Why? Do you have any idea?
You can't read the data?
I am not telling you that I can't read the data, not optimized for reading data. The reading of the data is very slow. For example, I want to find out which employee, okay, what is his date of joining, okay, what is the project manager, which means I need to read the data from these three tables. Then what I need to do? I need to write a statement, something like this, right?
Statement, select statement.
So for example, select, okay, A comma B, for example, okay, A comma B from table 1, comma table 2, comma table 3, okay, where table 1 dot primary key, for example, P1, okay, is equal to table 2 dot P2, okay, is equal to table 3 dot P3. So as you are aware, these joining conditions will definitely take a lot of time, right? So every record, it will come to the join condition, okay, if it is satisfied, then only it will show in the report, right?
Yeah.
So this, because of the joining, the reading of the data would be very, very slow. Because every record needs to go through this passage.
Okay.
Okay. So this kind of architecture is suitable for reading of the data. So writing, normalization, and when I go with the denormalization, it's quite opposite. Here, don't have very small tables. If there are storing some similar kind of information, club all those tables and construct a very large table. Construct a very large table. So don't split. So here again, the small tables are coming and construct a large table. So if I am putting all of my information in one single table itself, then there is no concept of all joins. Okay. So So select A comma B from some single table. So no joins means the reading of the data would be very, very fast. You got it, Harish?
Yeah.
So this is what denormalization meant. And that is the reason the OLTPs would be using the normalization, which are optimized for writing, and OLAPs would be using denormalization, which are optimized for reading.
Okay.
Okay. So this is what the difference.
So we should not use very small tables, right, for this purpose?
Yes. So usually what we'll do is, if instead of using small tables, if you're having some similar kind of information, okay, club those small tables into and constitute a very large table in the BW system.
Sorry?
You got it?
No, like, what is the small table concept? Can you please explain it one more time?
I'm not talking about a small table or small kind of thing. Instead of loading it in multiple tables, okay.
Okay.
If you're having multiple tables, definitely if you want to read the data, definitely you need to use a join condition, right? You need
Yeah, okay, multiple joiner conditions, okay.
If they're having multiple joins, what is happening? It needs to go through all the joins. Once it is satisfied, then only it will go to the next record. Like if, for example, one rack records are there. So in order to overcome all these problems, definitely it will be taking 5 to 10 minutes to read the data.
Yeah.
So what building months are there? That's the reason the OLAP would be going with the denormalization fashion. So what it will do? It will combine all the similar related tables into a very big table and leave it. Because of this, the joins are gone, right? So if joins are gone, the reading of the data would be very fast.
Okay.
Okay. So this is what the difference between the OLAP system and OLTP system. If somebody asks me the same question, then my answer would be yes. OLTP stands for online transaction processing, online analytical processing.
Okay.
Write optimized, read optimized. Okay. The database concept is a bit complex. The database concept is simple. The number of years are many. The number of years are low or small. The data is not updated very frequently. Here, according to my reporting requirement. The database data is stored in a normalized fashion and in a denormalized fashion. So like this, I need to tell the differences. At the same time, I need to be in a position to explain the differences also, like what is what. Just now I have explained things, right? So, and OLTP stores the current information and OLAP contains the current plus historical. So you need to tell these differences. At the same time, you need to explain them if somebody asks you. If that is the case, then the interviewer would be getting a perfect idea like, yes, this guy is having the thorough, strong foundation of the basics. Okay. So, and always you need to use the technical words, not your general English, not other kind of stuff. So if you are using technical words, then every interviewer or any other person will be very much impressed.
Okay.
Okay. So this is what the difference between the OLTP and OLAP. And this is how your SAP BIBW IS system will deploy. Back-end architecture. So as I already told you, whenever we go with any data browsing solution, it should be a bottom-up approach. So in the bottom, we have the different source systems. This middle layer is nothing but the ETL layer, and the top layer is nothing but the reporting layer.
Okay.
Okay. So every day, so for now, just keep in your mind this respective picture. Every day, once the class is completed, once the practical class is completed, I will come back to this picture again and explain you what is what. At that point of time, you will get a clear understanding. Now, if you see everything is a bit confusing, what is what?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So every practical class, once the class is completed, on the same day, I will come back to this picture.
Yeah. Sure. Okay.
Okay. Now, so this is what a simple reporting tool or ETL tool will look like. In the bottom, we have the different source systems. Okay. Middle ETL layer and reporting layer. So when we purchase SAP BWBI, this Business Explorer is the default reporting tool coming with us. No need of extra license, no need of extra money.
Okay.
But the problem with this Business Explorer is a simple tool, simple Excel-based reporting tool. So not much graphics is supported. That's the reason the organizations will be going with some third-party tools. So they may go with SAP BIBW, Business Objects, or ClickView or TabView according to their requirement. You got it, Harish?
Yeah.
So I'll just get back to this picture in tomorrow's class.
Yeah. Okay.
So we are done with today's class, and tomorrow we are going to learn learn about the star schema and external star schema. What is the limitations? What is the external star schema? All this stuff.
No.
Okay. And now I'll just explain you how to install your SAP GUI in your system, so that you can have the access to the system also.
Okay.
Now I'll just show you a link, share you the link here.
No, I think I got an email just now.
You got an email with the link?
Yeah, with the server access icon.
Yeah, okay, then if that is the case, just go through the procedure. Okay, no problem. So the procedure is simple. So now once you download once you download from the respective link, what will happen? It will be it will be something like this. GUI 730, something like this.
Okay, okay.
Folder. Okay. Just double click on it.
Okay, and install it.
Network. Okay. Do you have you already downloaded it?
No, I'll just download it. You want me to do that?
Once you are done with the download, let me know. We'll just I'll explain it tomorrow.
Okay.
Because lots of steps are there. I mean, simple only, but maybe I doubt that you may remember or not. That's the reason I'm telling you. So once you download, once you see this particular, save the file in respective folder and let me know in tomorrow's class.
Okay.
Okay, I'll explain you all this stuff. Okay, Harish, I'm done for the day, and if you have any doubts, you can ask me now.
Yeah, okay. No, today it's clear.
Today it's clear, right? And every Saturday and Sunday we don't have class. Why? Because I have some other commitments already. So we'll be having class only on weekdays.
Okay, so, and the other thing, like you told me, like we can have some extra hours on Saturday and Sunday, right?
Yeah, I told you, but some of the other institute guys have given a commitment. So I was unsure, right? So on last Friday they called me.
Okay. No, like is it possible to have class on 28th?
11 p.m. 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays.
No, 28th and 1st. Can we have a class on those days?
No, actually, I'm totally occupied from the next Saturday, Sunday. So 21, 22, 28, 1st. So this is my.
No, actually, I told the requirement, right? Like I need to get it done.
You told the requirement, but you haven't confirmed the things, right?
No, because of that reason, like yesterday also I spoke with Srinivas.
You don't worry about it. So once we'll just go with class, I mean a normal case, once you are familiar with all of the objects, every day I would be taking 3 hours or 2.5 hour class for you. So during the same time, no problem.
Okay, in that case it is okay.
So otherwise we'll do one thing.
So
during Saturdays and Sundays I am busy at night, right? So during morning we can cover the class, no problem, right?
That's fine.
So which is your night.
Okay.
That is not
I'm
not
totally available, like you can ping me anytime, like I will just join in like 15 minutes, something like that.
Sure, definitely. Whenever I'm free, we'll go with it. So I'll get back to you. So according to my requirements. So just make a note of my email ID. So you have my email ID, right? So just add me to the chat box.
Yeah, okay.
So just send me the Gmail request, and so whenever I'm free, I'll just ping it out when we can go with the classes.
Yeah, okay, sure.
So it's not specific time or specific date. Whenever free, we'll just go with it.
Yeah, sure.
I'll ensure that we complete the class at the earliest.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Okay, not going to one.
Like, I think if you can complete it like 15-20 days.
Yeah, sure. I'll make a note of it.
Yeah, okay, thank you. And if possible, like from tomorrow, I will listen to Sai videos, Mr. Sai videos.
You want to join the class?
No, I don't want to join. Like he has already recorded his sessions, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so
I want to hear. We can hear, no problem.
Yeah. No, he's like almost done, right? Sai, like 70% classes are done.
Yeah, 70% these classes are done. Yes.
Yeah. No, like his day 1, day 2 recordings. Like I will collect some recordings of him. Like I spoke with Srinivas regarding this.
Okay.
Yeah, so I will just listen it up, and if I have any doubts, I will ask. Else, we can continue from that point.
Sure, definitely. Yep.
Yeah. I will
but
see.
Like the only theoretical class from day after tomorrow we'll be having the practical classes.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. And you're going to send me the material right now?
Yes, Srinivas will send it to you. Yeah.
Okay.
If that is not the case, let me know your email ID. I'll just send it right now.
Yeah, okay.